Hello and welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one we're talking Eddie Hearn's, his comments on the Ariel Helwani show. Obviously some comments that Ariel Helwani made. And Chael Sonnen's comments on the whole ordeal. Before getting started, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. According to Ariel Helwani, MMA is in a recession. I think it was summed up nicely by Chael Sonnen. He said that could be nothing else besides just plain dishonesty, because the numbers obviously beg to differ. Pretty much every Saturday, right? Excluding like a Christmas or something. There's some, perhaps every now and then we get perhaps 2 weeks without a fight card. But generally speaking, every Saturday you can count on it. And these are Chael Sonnen's words, that we have a UFC event specifically to look forward to. And Chael also adds that, for UFC fans, it doesn't really matter if you know the guy or not. You're going to get, or gal for that matter, you're going to get to know that person by watching the fight. Contrary to boxing, This was something that was brought up on Good Guy, Bad Guy recently. I believe it was Good Guy, Bad Guy. Obviously, and to my surprise, we have so many big-name boxers. The biggest names in boxing pretty much are fighting this weekend. The date of recording this video is May 1st of 2025. So a couple days from now, we're going to have Canelo Alvarez back in that ring. We're going to have Ryan Garcia back in that ring. If I'm not mistaken, Gervonta Davis is going to be partaking in a fight. And these are pretty much the biggest names in boxing, right? And some other fights are also obviously taking place. And I don't know if it's lack of promotion, but maybe a week ago I found out about the Canelo Alvarez fight. One might say that, hey, you're not paying attention to the game, but the truth is that boxing is so inconsistent, and it's such a decentralized system to where it does not make sense for anybody. It's very difficult to follow, because there isn't a brand like the UFC where everything, like where the top fighters are fighting. It's a bunch of different promotions, and all of these promotions are playing Machiavellian games with one another, and they're doing these strange things with fighters. I mean, with all respect, sometimes promoters in boxing line up their fighters with, let's say, easier fights, right? To rack up the wins and build resumes and obviously to get a bigger payday. In the UFC, obviously mixed martial arts, specifically the UFC, Dana White has taught us that the two best guys, generally speaking, are going to fight one another, right? And I think, lovers of boxing, which are lovers of mixed martial arts, obviously, I can say comfortably, I think that the lovers of mixed martial arts love boxing. But I think people that are such hardcore boxing fans think that somehow, like, people that like the world of MMA in general don't like the art of boxing. That's not the thing. It's just, I think the whole thing with MMA fans is that, they believe that, mixed martial arts is more of a pure expression of exactly that, in mixed martial arts. Fighting, right? When boxing is very specific to one set of rules, and it kind of confines fights into this small space. That's why mixed martial arts it's a greater expression of that, right? Obviously we have the biggest names in boxing fighting, I just found out about it just recently, unfortunately for them, but in the UFC, I mean, you're getting a ginormous card every month, and continuously getting fight cards that have tremendous entertainment value every Saturday. Obviously, Chael Sonnen says that, hey, the ticket sales beg to differ with, Ariel Helwani's comments, who claims that MMA is in a recession. Obviously, with all respect to Ariel Helwani, but, I think those comments stem from, I don't want to say of his dislike of Dana White, but maybe that's a little bit of that is coming from that source. Because how can you make sense of something that's just blatant? It's not true. It's just not true. Chael Sonnen goes deep into the subject. I highly suggest you go and check out the video that he made on the matter. But for Eddie Hearn, he's a promoter. You expect him to do exactly that, promote his sport. But it's not so much about what Eddie Hearn says on the Ariel Helwani show, what Ariel Helwani says in the when he hosts Eddie Hearn's. It's about the truth, right? When the truth is that every Saturday we're getting these phenomenal fights, right? And even if we don't know the person, sometimes we still tune in because it's so entertaining. And unfortunately, as somebody that loves boxing, I grew up watching Manny Pacquiao. A huge fan of Manny. Perhaps, till this day, perhaps my favorite fighter of all time, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. With all respect, the way that the politics run that sport, right? It kind of led it to the place that it's in right now, to where they're taking cheap shots at the UFC, when Dana White is doing the contrary. He's trying to get into boxing to revive the sport. I see it as, MMA fans loving boxing, but, pure boxing fans, let's say the promotions are not huge fans of MMA, apparently. I mean, obviously, they took a huge share of the market before mixed martial arts. It was boxing, and perhaps the reason that at least on the surface, boxing seems like it's dying, thanks to Turki Ali Sheikh, all of these fights get to happen. But thanks to MMA, boxing is in the position that it's at right now, because thanks to guys like Dana White, where he give us the two best combat athletes in every division to face one another, he's captivated the hearts and the imaginations of MMA fans for decades to come. And it's going to be very difficult to reclaim, for boxing to reclaim that throne. If you made it this far, appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments, like, subscribe for more.